Sveiki, IT Plius žiūrovai, netrukus kalbėsiuosi su Phil Harvey. Jis yra debesų kompiuterijos architektas duomenų ir dirbtinio intelekto srityje, šiuo metu dirba įmonėje Microsoft. Philas yra programuotojas, išbandęs save pačiose įvairiausiose srityse, tarp jų įprastinėje architektūroje, reklamos versle, yra knygos Data, A Guide to Humans autorius bei modelis. Tai lengvai įsitikinti pažiūrėjus jo barzdą. Puikia barzda. Jis tiki, kad mūsų asmeniniai duomenys yra vertingiausias šių laikų turtas, o kalbėdami apie juos turime po skaičiais išmokti įžvelgti žmones ir jausti jiems empatiją. Tuoj pasikalbėsime. Hi Phil.
Hi.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
To begin with, I want to talk about your previous interview. In one of your interviews, you said that data is a new type of resource. Could you emphasize on that? It's a new concept for me.
So what data does is it gives us new ways of knowing things and new things to know. As such, it's a resource for all of us as a species even. And it means that the advent of the availability of so much data is a fundamental shift in the way that we know things as human beings. It's as fundamental as the shift of when the printing press was invented and books were widely available. So it's that kind of resource. It's a resource that gives us new things to know.
Okay, when you talk about data, you always talk about empathy. How do they get together?
With data, you're working out how to use that new resource to have an impact, to do something useful. And to use empathy to understand the needs and feelings of the people and the systems involved in receiving that result will make you more successful. If that could be, let's say I'm producing a report for you and I do the report as a technologist and it's full with all kinds of numbers and statistical probabilities in these things, it might not be useful to you. You might want to know how many viewers you have, or you may want to understand the different impact of the topics that you talk about on your viewership. If I give you just lots of statistical numbers that were interesting to me, they won't work for you. They won't fulfill those needs that we're talking about. So in data, in technology, in the wider world, empathy is very important to help us be more successful.
Okay, and we have some examples of data being misused and not being used with empathy. I'm talking about the Cambridge Analytica scandal that happened. That was one of the great examples, I think, where there were numbers instead of people. I guess they saw it that way. Have we learned anything from that from Cambridge Analytica?
The key learning, as I see, is that we now understand that educating technologists about ethics and empathy as early as possible is very important, because regardless of what the technical person can do, they need to understand whether it's right to do it or not. So understanding the societal impact, the empathy of the impact on people around them, all the way through to the difficult ethical systems that are in place. I think all of the situations that occur with technology and data will help us see more and more that soft skills for technologists is very important.
Do you know any examples that this is being done, like in universities, empathy is being, or ethics is being taught for programmers, for developers? Is it?
So it's a fantastic question. There's various pieces of research being done at the moment. Ethics is popping up in many more global computer science courses, but as a single topic amongst many technical topics. As far as I've found so far, broad soft skills, empathy and those kind of things are not covered in as much depth. So we're seeing the start from an ethical perspective, probably led by the examples you've talked about, but broadening that into soft skills is not happening.
If it was up to you, that would be learned much more wider, I guess.
Yes, I had the opportunity to work on an apprenticeship definition in the United Kingdom for data science. And one of the things I was pushing for is to make sure there was a strong soft skills and human understanding piece to that. Many of the others in the group were pushing for just the technical skills, because they didn't see the value of it. So where I have the opportunity to impact that, I do where I can. So I think everybody should.
The physicians have Hippocratic oath, the doctors, they have it. Now, what do you think about this idea of having developers or programmers of a set of rules? Would that work?
Would it work? That's a difficult question to answer. I think we're seeing examples of legal situations occurring that are starting to set that precedence. So there are things from retail through to the automotive industry where we're seeing the technical people, whether they're chemists or software engineers, being held to account for the work that they do, in the same way that a doctor is held to account for the work that they do. As technologists become more educated in the way that ethics works in society as a whole, they will start to look for opportunities to protect themselves and to look for those rules. So I think it will be successful when combined with the ability of the technologists to understand the full range of soft skills that make them be successful.
Thank you very much. Tai buvo Phil Harvey, duomenų debesų kompiuterijos architektas iš įmonės Microsoft, kuris kalba labai daug apie tai, kaip duomenys ir empatija eina šalia ir kartu. Ačiū, Philai.
Thank you.
Thank you.